It started with a $78 overdraft fee. I didn't even know my bank account was that low. I had just bought coffee, filled up my gas tank, and suddenly, boom, my account was empty, and I was in the red. That was the moment I realized something had to change. Like many people, I thought I was managing my money just fine. I paid bills when I remembered. I saved when I could, but I didn't really have a plan. That's when I remembered hearing about Dave Ramsey's budgeting advice. Some people swear by it. I decided to give it a real shot. I picked 5 of his most popular tips and followed them for 30 days. No shortcuts. No excuses. Just the honest truth about what happened when I finally took control of my money. And let me tell you, some of the results were surprising in ways I didn't expect. Number 1. Embracing zero-based budgeting. The first piece of advice I tried was something called zero-based budgeting. At first, the name sounded complicated, but it's actually really simple. It just means that every dollar you earn has a job. When you write down your income and subtract all your planned spending and saving, the total should be 0. Not because you're broke, but because you've told every dollar where to go. So I sat down with a notebook, my bank app, and a strong cup of coffee. I listed all the money I expected to get that month. Then I listed all my bills, regular expenses, like groceries and gas, and a few savings goals. I even included a small amount for fun, like Friday night pizza or a movie. Whatever money was left, I found a purpose for it. No guessing, no whatever's left over. This process was eye-opening. I discovered I was spending over $50 a month on little things I didn't even think about. Random snacks, last-minute app purchases, or forgetting to cancel free trials. By being intentional, I actually felt more free, not more restricted. What surprised me most? I didn't feel deprived. I felt smart. I knew where my money was going, and for the first time, I felt like I was in charge. Not my bills, not my bank account. Dave Ramsey says, "A budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went." That quote really hit home. Zero-based budgeting gave me a clear plan and more peace of mind than I'd had in years. It wasn't perfect, but it was powerful, and it was just the beginning. Number 2. Prioritizing the 4 walls. Dave Ramsey talks a lot about something called the 4 walls. These are the most important things you should pay for before anything else: food, utilities, shelter, and transportation. At first, this seemed too basic. Of course I was paying for these things, right? But once I actually listed them out and compared them to where my money was going, I realized I wasn't putting them first. Some weeks, I was buying takeout or shopping online before I even paid my electric bill. So, I flipped the script. For 1 month, I made sure those 4 areas were covered first. I planned meals at home, made a weekly grocery list, and avoided drive-thrus. I called my internet provider and got on a cheaper plan. I filled up my car just once a week and combined errands to save gas. Doing this made a huge difference. It gave me peace of mind knowing that my needs were taken care of before spending money on anything else. It also helped me say no to unplanned spending because I knew what was truly important. This tip might sound simple, but it made my money feel more solid. When your basics are covered, it's easier to breathe. You feel safer, calmer, more in control. It's like building your budget on a strong foundation. Ramsey calls these the essentials to survive. I'd say they're also the key to sleeping better at night. Number 3. Building a starter emergency fund. Dave Ramsey says the first step toward financial peace is saving $1,000 as a starter emergency fund. At first, that sounded impossible to me. I didn't have extra money lying around, but he made a good point. Emergencies are going to happen. It's not if, it's when. And when they do, it's better to be ready than to panic. So I gave myself 30 days to save $1,000. I started small. I sold an old coffee table online for $40. I paused 2 streaming subscriptions. I stopped ordering food delivery. Every time I would have spent money on something unnecessary, I moved it to a savings folder in my bank app labeled emergency only. By the end of the month, I had $1,005 saved. It wasn't easy, but it felt amazing. This little cushion gave me confidence. I wasn't living in fear of the next flat tire or a surprise medical bill. In fact, during the 2nd week, my dog needed an unexpected vet visit, and for once, I didn't panic. I used part of the fund and knew I could rebuild it again. Ramsey's idea isn't about becoming rich overnight. It's about having a small win that gives you breathing room and peace of mind. And honestly, that little win felt like a big victory. Now I understand, having $1,000 in savings isn't just smart. It's a form of self-respect. Number 4. Implementing the debt snowball method. If you're like me, debt feels like a heavy backpack you can't take off. Credit cards, student loans, store cards, they all add up. Dave Ramsey's debt snowball method gave me a new way to tackle it. So, you list all your debts from smallest to largest, no matter the interest rate. You pay the minimum on everything except the smallest one. For that one, you throw as much extra money as you can at it until it's gone. Then you move to the next one and so on. Like a snowball rolling downhill, you build speed as each debt disappears. At first, I questioned it. Shouldn't I pay off the highest interest rate first? But Ramsey says personal finance is 80% behavior and 20% head knowledge. You need wins to stay motivated. And he was right. I had a store credit card with just $150 left on it. I focused all my energy there. I sold a few things on Facebook Marketplace, skipped 2 nights of takeout, and paid it off in less than 2 weeks. The feeling? Incredible.
Like a weight off my chest.
Next was a small medical bill. Boom, gone. Each time I paid something off, I felt stronger, like I was finally in control. I could see progress. I could breathe. This method isn't magic, but it works because it keeps you moving forward. Tiny victories build confidence, and confidence builds momentum. Before, debt felt endless. Now it feels like something I can conquer. Number 5. Avoiding lifestyle inflation. One of the sneakiest money traps is something called lifestyle inflation. It means that when you start earning more money, you also start spending more, without even thinking about it. I noticed this myself after getting a small raise at work. Suddenly, I was ordering fancy coffee more often, adding extra things to my online cart, and upgrading my phone just because. The extra money was gone before I even felt it. Dave Ramsey warns about this. He says just because you earn more doesn't mean you should spend more. If you're not careful, you'll stay in the same spot financially, just with nicer stuff. So, I made a rule. Anytime I get extra money, at least 50% goes to saving or debt, and the rest can be enjoyed, guilt-free. I also kept my budget the same, even with the raise. It wasn't easy. I had to say no to things that looked fun. But I realized something powerful. Freedom feels better than stuff. And saving money gave me more peace than another online purchase ever could. Avoiding lifestyle inflation isn't about being cheap. It's about staying focused on what really matters. Budgeting in a time of inflation. Let's be honest, everything costs more now. So, when I started budgeting using Dave Ramsey's tips, I had to adjust for real-life inflation. At first, it felt frustrating. I made my budget, but prices kept changing. A grocery trip that used to cost $60 was now $85. My rent went up, and so did my electricity bill. I started to wonder, can I even stick to this? Instead of giving up, I looked for smart ways to stretch my money. I shopped at discount stores, used cashback apps for groceries, and started planning meals with cheaper ingredients. I also looked for small side gigs to bring in extra cash. Dave's advice still worked, but I had to be flexible. I kept my four walls covered first: food, shelter, utilities, and transport, and trimmed things like eating out or new clothes. The truth is, budgeting during inflation isn't perfect, but it's still possible. You just have to be more creative and focused. Even with higher prices, having a plan made me feel stronger, not stuck. And that mindset helped me push through. Trying Dave Ramsey's budgeting advice wasn't always easy, but it changed how I see money. Over 30 days, I learned to give every dollar a job, focus on what truly matters, and prepare for life's surprises. I stopped letting money control me. Instead, I started telling my money what to do. That felt powerful. Paying off even a small debt felt like winning. Saving $1,000 gave me peace. Saying no to unnecessary spending gave me clarity. No, I'm not completely debt-free yet, and I'm not a budgeting expert, but I'm in a better place than I was just a month ago. And that's a win. Dave Ramsey's methods work, not because they're flashy, but because they're simple and real. If you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed by money, I hope my journey shows you that change is possible, even in small steps. Start where you are. The rest will follow. Want to learn how real people are building quiet wealth and achieving financial success? Then watch this video next. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.